Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be talking about hopelessness. Now, hopelessness is something that is very profound, we can say, and very pervasive in these days. Now, something that crossed my mind earlier today was I was kind of thinking about my situation in life, and sometimes our situations or our circumstances in life can be very stale. There may not be a lot of change within our current life circumstances, and sometimes that can give us a sense of hopelessness. And what I realized from, at least my own personal experience was that hopelessness is what causes probably the most suffering, right? We all are going to deal with hard circumstances in life, and that's just life. But when we become hopeless and when we give into this narrative of hopelessness, that's where, the real suffering comes, right? Because then your mind starts to question, oh, like, when is this going to end? Is this even possible to change? I've tried everything and nothing has changed. So what if, I'm stuck in this way, or what if life is stuck in this way? And I think these sort of thoughts create like a sort of hopeless perspective on life. And I think that's what really causes the most misery, and for people to maybe even give up in life. And that really, it really hit me today. And what I realized is that we have to try as best as possible to maintain our faith and realize that peace is possible, that we can change our situation, and that that it is possible. Life is not going to be forever. Whatever situation, whatever hard situation or thing you're dealing with, it's not going to last forever. Things always change. We could say things are very temporary in life, and so that includes the hard situation that you're in right now. And I really think that a lot of people right now, especially, it feels like almost every generation, really. I can't even pinpoint a generation, but it feels like every generation, especially I'll say Gen Z, is very hopeless for the future. And I think that does, you know, there's a lot of bad implications that come out of that hopelessness. And for one, I think it doesn't contribute to any change. It's not conducive to any positive change, right? When people are hopeless, it's sort of like they've already given up before even trying. The other thing is that hopelessness causes, again, the most misery, right? If you believed, right? If you truly believed and had faith that you can change your situation, that eventually this situation will get better, that eventually, you will be at peace, at a more peaceful state, a more loving state, then that really reduces the suffering. Not only does it dramatically reduce the suffering, but you realize that this difficult season that you're going through is for a reason. It's not just for no reason, right? It's happening for the growth of your character, for the growth of your skills, and to ultimately create the person you were meant to become. But again, if you're hopeless and you don't have that faith and you think that this situation is going to last forever or that you're cursed, then you won't be able to get the most out of this difficult situation. You won't be able to seize the moment. So I think this pervasive hopelessness that we're seeing throughout society is something that we have to be conscious of, and we have to be as faithful as we can be, because the implications are big, right? Again, I think it really starts with our faith in humanity, our faith within ourselves to be able to change the world for the better. And yeah, if we don't, if we're not conscious of our mindsets and where our energy is going and what thoughts we're having, then we may fall down this negative rabbit hole that a lot of people are currently in, which is a rabbit hole of hopelessness. And yeah, like I said, I think it's just, I've seen it all over the place. So many people being pessimistic about the future, which of course makes sense because of the direction everything is going. But again, if we want to have any chance of bettering the world, then we have to remain as faithful as possible, question our conclusions and our assumptions on you know whether this hopelessness is something that is actually true, or if it's even suited in for the situation, if it even makes sense. A lot of times there's not a lot of truth in it, and so we really have to question where what our thoughts are, what are they conducing, what feelings are they conducing, what we're consuming on social media, and all these things, being as mindful as we can be. And yeah, I don't know, I just felt like sharing that because it was something that I experienced today, and I got a surge of faith, we'll say. Weird way of putting it, but whatever. I've got a surge of faith that reminded me of the truth, that reminded me of the best way of approaching a difficult situation and approaching the times that we're in right now. And so, yeah, if there's anybody that's, hopeless out there and listening to this, I promise you things are going to get better. You will be at peace at some point in your life, and you can change whatever situation you're in. We have to see these difficult times as something where we're being tested so that we can grow, right? That's the best way I can put it. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to say a little message for today. May God bless you all. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, y'all.